Few seem to have noticed that in recent years many deciduous trees are foliated with completely dead, dry leaves still hanging on branches all winter long. This is absolutely not a natural phenomenon. Why is it occurring? This image from the Home Depot in Redding, California was captured on February 17, 2018. The deciduous trees in this image are fully foliated with stone, dead, and dry leaves that have been dead and hanging on these trees since mid-November, over 3 months. These specimens are only a few examples. There are countless more throughout Redding, throughout the US, and around the world. It is imperative for the public to understand and consider the normal processes of nature in regard to a deciduous tree. The leaves on a deciduous tree should be released by the tree when cold enough weather arrives. The leaves then, of course, fall to the ground. They don't hang on the tree all winter long. The recent phenomena of dead leaves hanging on many deciduous trees, generally in more wind-sheltered locations, is again completely unnatural. Hormones in trees, often referred to as abscission hormones, are responsible for deciduous trees releasing their leaves. This is now all too often not occurring according to the laws of nature. Why not?
This is Redding, California, late January 2018, and trees of various species fully foliated with stone dead leaves. The tree didn't drop the leaves from the abscission hormone. The leaves died on the tree. Why? Another specimen there. And with our now common overcast, featureless skies, with generally little wind, no definition in the sky at all, now common, now the norm, and being on renewable energy, that I have no wind, no rain, no sun. No wind from my wind turbines, no rain from my hydro turbines, and so often no sun. Those two trees in the distance there as well, fully foliated with stone dead leaves that should have fallen off in perhaps late October. Deciduous tree there, fully foliated with dead leaves that never fell off the trees. Late January 2018, more specimens here, completely foliated with dead leaves. Why does nobody notice that? It's not a natural phenomenon. Trees should drop their leaves before they're stone dead from the abscission hormone in the tree, which is triggered from cold weather. Another specimen, late January, completely foliated with dead leaves. This is a single parking lot. We have almost a dozen specimens. Again, fully foliated, stone dead leaves. Why does nobody notice this phenomenon, which is occurring in countless regions now? Another tree. These leaves will hang here all winter because it's sheltered from the wind. This specimens all over urban areas, all over wildland areas, completely foliated with stone dead leaves hanging on the tree, which is an absolutely non-natural phenomenon. Redwood trees dying all over Northern California. This is Redding, California, but they're in a rapid state of decline. Nobody seems to notice. Many specimens are already completely dead. These are in steep decline. Redding, California, the mall, January 22nd, 2018. This is a sycamore tree. It's one of many specimens that still have live leaves on them. The leaves have never fallen off this winter because it's never been cold enough. The abscission hormone on the tree has not dropped the leaves, but many specimens have the top of the canopy, their crown of the tree, defoliated. Why? What's caused the leaves on so many specimens to shrivel and die in the tree? This specimen also, again, we're midwinter, deciduous tree, should have dropped its leaves in perhaps November at the latest, still foliated with live green leaves. The tree has not dropped the leaves yet. But depending on where the tree is, you have a specimen, again, here with live leaves, partially foliated, and here you have same species foliated with dead leaves. Why such a variance. And throughout the parking lot here, we have deciduous trees fully foliated with dead leaves. Something's going on. We've seen the last 7 and 8 years of particular rain in the fall, even though it's not cold enough for the trees to drop their leaves. Most of the deciduous trees' leaves shrivel, die, and hang on the trees until the wind blows them off. That's absolutely not a natural phenomenon. When will agencies start to report on what's happening with our vegetation, our trees? It's not being reported. Official agencies are saying nothing. They're not reporting the aluminum that's coming down the rain. We're doing other testing now at geoengineeringwatch.org to try to determine what may be in the precipitation as part of the aerosol dispersions for rains in the fall that would defoliate the trees. And chemicals to do so have been around for many, many decades. They were defoliating jungles in Vietnam in the 1960s, certainly have much more sophisticated elements available to them now to create the illusion of a change of season when it has not been cold enough for the trees to drop their leaves.
The phenomenon of deciduous trees being completely foliated with dead leaves persists even when temperatures are well below freezing. Why? Again, because the deciduous tree leaves are not being naturally released by the tree in so many cases due to a natural change of seasons and the abscission hormones. Something else is killing the leaves and forcing the trees into dormancy. Why aren't the deciduous trees able to respond in a natural way, entering dormancy and dropping their leaves as they have done for eons? Because Earth's climate system is completely unraveling. Climate engineering is playing a major role in further fueling that process. The geoengineers can and are creating short-term, highly toxic chemical ice-nucleated cooldowns which come at the cost of an even worse overall warming. Available evidence indicates that the weather makers are utilizing a defoliant during specific fall rains in order to kill the deciduous tree leaves and force the trees into dormancy. Why? To create the impression of a normal winter season when natural conditions are no longer able to do so. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration map below shows the latest extreme, alarming scheduled weather for the U.S. Though the eastern U.S. has been the target of engineered cooldowns again and again, utilizing patented chemical ice nucleation processes, the western U.S. is now the focus of the climate engineers. The radical weather whiplash scenarios will continue to worsen as the geoengineers further force the already disintegrating climate system. It is not just the trees that are suffering from the consequences of climate engineering. It is the entire web of life. This shocking NASA satellite image was just captured off the U.S. West Coast. Such images are becoming the norm. Visible in this image is an unbelievably extensive, toxic geoengineered canopy of sprayed heavy metals and chemicals. There's virtually no natural storm formation or related circulations, only a massive expanse of jet aircraft dispersed atmospheric aerosols. Such operations are part of the means by which the climate engineers are currently cooling off the U.S. West. But at what cost to the planet and the web of life does such a toxic cool down come? In this departure from normal high temperature map for late February 2018, the scheduled results of the completely engineered cool down in the U.S. West can be seen. The block of record heat in the U.S. Southeast is also clearly visible. In order for the climate engineers to orchestrate a cool down in one half of the country, the other half is generally fried under a dome of ionosphere heater created high pressure, with ionosphere heater installations like HARP, which are scattered all around the globe. Why are these high pressure domes created? Because the clockwise rotation of the upper level winds around the high pressure dome are a component of steering atmospheric moisture, which the climate engineers then utilize, along with chemical ice nucleation elements, to create the surface cool down, and thus the desired headlines of cold. This in turn continues the population's confusion and division in regard to the true state of climate implosion. This global departure from normal high temperature map should be carefully examined. What is the overall state of the global climate? The planet is superheating, with climate engineering further fueling the overall fire. The heating in the Arctic is off the scale. Temperatures at the North Pole are yet again forecast to be above freezing temperatures this winter, over 50 degrees above normal. Where is it cold on the surface of the northern hemisphere, which is heating faster than the southern hemisphere? The most powerful, industrialized, militarized nations. That's where the cool downs are being orchestrated most prolifically. Portions of the US, Western Europe, Russia, China, and Japan. Every day that the global climate engineering insanity is allowed to continue diminishes any chance we may yet have to salvage what is yet left of Earth's life support systems. Make your voice heard in the critical battle to expose and halt climate engineering. Sharing credible data from a credible source is the most effective and efficient way to wake others up to the ongoing global climate engineering assault. As those around you awaken, ask them to also do their part to expose the climate engineering crimes. The planet's life support systems are breaking down at blinding speed. Each and every one of us is needed in the critical battle to turn the tide. This is Dane Wigington with geoengineeringwatch.org.